Hello, my lovely students. Welcome back to StudyWeb Academy, where education is without limits. Welcome back to our English class, and let's continue looking at our main topic of today, and that is the speech sounds. So I'll go straight to looking at we're looking at the vocabulary development, and I've given you some aspects under this vocabulary development, and I will move straight away to show you the different ways on how to develop your vocabulary. So I've talked about reading widely, exposing yourself to different sources, books, newspapers, magazines, online articles. This will help you have a wide context and a wide idea and meet different vocabularies. The next way is vocabulary list. You notice that I always insist, write this down or go to your vocabulary corner and just write this down. I do this because I want you to have a vocabulary list where when you find yourself in situations you're told to write a speech or write a presentation or something, you can easily go back to your book and find good vocabularies to use when you want to gain more marks or write better. Okay, so this is very important. It's very, very important to have a vocabulary list. So you don't do it for me or do it for anyone else, but you're doing for yourself. Okay, so you want to be having a book or somewhere or a page in your book where you just write down the vocabularies you know or the vocabularies you've learned. Okay, so don't forget about that. Then the next I will look at is contextual learning. What do I mean by contextual learning? Learning new words can be highly effective, and hence we encourage you to read sentences and passages where the words are used so that you can understand how they fit into sentences. Okay, I will explain in simpler terms. When you read, sometimes you meet very, very big words or you meet ambiguous words, okay? And what do? Sometimes you don't have a phone to go check the meaning or a dictionary that will help you check the meaning. You don't have any of this. But so what will help you? You have to use the context now, where this involves, for example, you find a very, very complex word around where you're reading. So what do? You read the words around this word or the sentences around these words, and this will make you gain more insights and really, really understand the word and how it fits into the sentence. So it's very, very important you understand that. Okay, another way is word games and puzzles. I really, really encourage students to make use of these games, and I gave examples. Some newspapers, I don't know if you've seen it already, but there's some newspapers that have this crosswords puzzle. You find that they will give the solutions of the last week paper, and with the current paper they will give the solutions with the next week paper or the following week's paper, but there's always a hint to work out the game. So you should involve yourself in such games, puzzle games. When you love puzzle games, then you can be able to even build your vocabulary. So be active in games that make sense. For example, the crossword puzzle games, word searches, and vocabulary games that can make learning new words enjoyable. Okay, you want to be a good learner or good at your vocabularies. Okay, so try employ the use of these games. Listen to these games, play these games, watch people play these games. Do anything to just make sure you have a new way of enjoying new words and learning about new words. So make use of these word games and puzzles. They will really, really help you. The next is dictionary and thesaurus use. Now, a dictionary is basically a book that gives you a word and its meaning, okay? But a thesaurus, it gives you the synonym for words, okay? Other words that mean the same like the word you're looking for. So you have to make use of such sources. You have to make use of the thesauruses, the dictionary, these sources will really, really help you to develop your vocabulary. When you're reading or when you're engaging in some reading thing, okay, you want to use your dictionary and the thesaurus to find the meaning. So you just don't want to read, and because you don't understand a word, you just pass it and move to the next word. No, but you want to understand every word that you read and everything that you read. So what do? You make sure that you familiarize yourself with how to use the dictionary. There's some people who actually even take time to just look for a word in the dictionary, and this is not healthy. So if you want to become a good reader, you have to make sure that you know how to use the dictionary and the thesaurus. You take few minutes to look for a word, okay? So that will help you. The next thing is, I'll just give you the word of the day here. And here I'll basically just encourage you to explore new words every day, learn their meaning, and just try to use them in a sentence. So vocabulary development is just not about understanding a word and leaving it at that. No, once you learn about a word and read about a word, don't end it there, okay? So what do? You try use it in a sentence. When you're talking to your friends, or when you're writing, or when you're told to do a certain thing, use these words. Make use of these words. Use them in your writing. Use them in everything that you do. Do not forget about that, okay? So that is something I would like you to do. So just to wind up on this, vocabulary development is an ongoing process. That is something you have to understand. It requires consistent effort and practice. So by actively engaging with words and their meanings, we can be able to expand our vocabularies and improve our academic performance. So understand that vocabulary development requires consistent learning, okay? So let me just change this because our class is different. So just notice that you are all learning the same thing. All your grades, you're learning the same thing. So don't forget about that. So even in when I was talking about the vocabulary development here, the same thing that I've taught you is the same thing that the other classes will learn, okay? So now I was talking about vocabulary development and everything that you need to know under vocabulary development. They're just the same thing. So when I'm talking about the standardized test, the proficiency in reading, we have to understand that grade 9 and grade 10 students all read the same thing, okay? So let me change this thing for you. Sorry for that. Let me just change this for you. So the same thing you learn is the same thing the other class learned. So that is something that you don't want to forget, okay? So let me just make this correction. Give me just a second. Yeah. So that is just basically it, okay? So don't forget about that. So vocabulary development is a process that is ongoing. You will never cease to learn, and new words will be formed daily. New words will come daily. Every day you will learn new words, okay? Every day something new will always come. So don't forget about that. So use these dictionaries. Listen to what I've told you. Like, just keep learning, okay? So every day you'll meet new words, and by actively engaging with these words and their meanings, you'll be able to expand your vocabulary and improve your academic performance, and then enhance your overall language skill, okay? Don't forget about that. So that is all about vocabulary development. It's pretty easy and very simple to explore. So now we'll look at something we call nouns. Now, at this level, we all know what nouns are, so we won't like go deeper into it and try to go so deep into it, but we'll try just to understand what nouns are. So I will look at nouns. Even before I start, what is a noun? Like, what comes to your mind when you hear the word nouns? What is a noun? So like I said, and I will always explain, a noun is just a naming word. And I hope, before I move to show you the meaning, I hope you have the same meaning too of what a noun is. So let's move here. So generally, a noun or nouns are one of the fundamental or important parts of speech in English language. They are words used to name people, places, things, animals, ideas, or concepts. Nouns serve as the building block of sentences and play a very, very crucial role in communication by helping us refer to and describe the world around us. Now, in simple terms, a noun is a naming word. A noun is basically a naming word. Don't forget about that. A noun is a naming word. So it will name places, it will name people, it will name things, it will name animals, it will name ideas, and it will name concepts. So a noun is a naming word. So any name you know, any word you know, anything, any word of a place, of a thing, of an animal, or an animal, sorry, of an idea or a concept, all of them are what we call nouns, okay? And just a simple word for it, a noun is a naming word, and you just keep it at that. A noun is a naming word, sorry. It will name places, it will name people, it will name things, it will name animals, it will name ideas, concepts. So it's a naming word. So, and it's also a part of speech. So we talked about parts of speech. We talked about the adverbs, adjectives, verbs, all these examples, pronouns, prepositions. So that's just what basically nouns are, okay, and what they do. So now I want us to move and look at the types of nouns, or the different categories that nouns are divided into. And the first one is common and proper nouns. Common and proper nouns. Now, common nouns are just the nouns we are familiar with. The common nouns we know, the book, the pen, the box. So these are just nouns that we know, we use them every day, we see them, okay? Common nouns are like mother, people, teacher, car, book. These are nouns that we are aware of them, we know them, they're very, very common among us. So these are common nouns, okay? Then with the proper nouns, they are nouns that they are specific nouns. Let me say that is the right word. So they refer to specific things. So if you're talking about maybe a book, now when you give the name of the book is a proper noun. When you're talking about a country is a common noun, but when you give the specific name of the country, it becomes a proper noun, okay? When talking about maybe a teacher, mother, those are proper nouns. But when you give the specific names of the teacher or the mother, then this becomes a proper noun, okay? So let me change this again. I don't know why it's the same, but it's okay, no big deal. So these proper nouns, they must be written in a capital letter. That is something that I don't want you to forget. Don't forget about that, okay? Anytime you write a proper noun, make sure it begins with a capital letter. If you're writing someone's name, make sure the first letter is a capital letter. So just use capital letters when writing proper nouns. So proper nouns refer to specific things that you're talking about, whereas common nouns, they're just the common things we know: book, teacher, country. These are common nouns that we use every day. But proper nouns are specific nouns. Please get that difference. For example, here we may encounter historical figures and the works of people or events. Anything that you write that you feel like is not common then becomes a proper noun. Don't forget about that. For example, I know we are aware of the Shakespeare stories, okay? Or for example, Shakespeare himself is a proper noun. The name is a proper noun. The country Nigeria, it's a proper noun. So when you're writing the N, start it with a capital letter. So something that I don't want you to forget and keep in mind, that nouns must be written, or proper nouns must be written or started with a capital letter, whereas common nouns, they're just the nouns we know every day, okay? So that is common nouns and proper nouns. Next, we have concrete and abstract nouns. Now, with concrete nouns, these are tangible or nouns that we can see, we can touch and you can see. For example, tree, apple, bag. Concrete nouns and nouns that are tangible. When I say tangible, I mean something we can touch. Tangible, it's something we can touch, okay? And perceptible, okay? So like tree, apple, we can see them, we can touch them. Pen, pencil, these are concrete nouns. But abstract nouns are nouns that we can't see and we can't touch. They're intangible, and this includes ideas and emotions. For example, love, happiness. When you're feeling happy, when you're feeling sad, you can't touch, but abstract nouns are felt mostly, okay? They are felt or thought, okay? So maybe freedom, you can feel it, like you're at liberty to do something. There's the feeling of freedom, okay? So with abstract nouns, they are intangible. They're just ideas and emotions. They're from our brain and our hearts, what we feel, what we think, okay? Abstract nouns and nouns that we can touch. For example, love, happiness, sadness. These are abstract nouns. Something abstract is something we can't touch and we can't see, but we can feel it. But with concrete nouns, they're nouns that we can touch, we can see, we can move them if they are movable, okay? For example, I'm giving an example like fruits, like the apple, like tree, like anything that you can touch and see, they're called the concrete nouns.